ありがとうございます。お願いします。Let's start. So we have 45 minutes.
Okay, you can speak.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay. So let me briefly introduce myself. And 今私は日本に住んでいます。文京区の明方に住んでいます。And I moved to Tokyo in August. And before Tokyo, I live in Hong Kong, Shanghai, and my hometown Qingdao. So I teach Scrum, I teach CSM and CSPO. I'm a Scrum trainer. Also, I'm a coach, certified coach. And in Asia Pacific countries, I teach courses. And also, you can see another part of my life is I'm a driver. I drive a company. I drive a real business. And from here, actually, I provide you some gift for my session. And if you use this coupon code, you can get discount next time when you book ticket from US, Europe, and train ticket and bus tickets. So this is my product. I'm the developer. So if you had any bugs, please talk to me and I will fix it. But not these 3 days. So this is a coupon code. I'll share with you a coupon code later also. But today I'm talking about the coaching journey. It's a journey working with in 2015. I working with actually is GE Healthcare. Working with the company. They are building X-ray machine. This is not the software team. It's a kind of the real thing, real big product, and very traditional industry. I spent 1 year with them, and first you see some comparison between the two phases. The left column is the previous version. I'll share 2 attempts. They try to adopt Agile. The first attempt, they spent 2.5 years, and which is 1.5 year delay. And the second attempt, actually they finished project 1 week in advance. I'll share you detail later. Just give you some, and there are a lot of bugs. And the build reduced from 20 hours to the shortest period is 2.8 seconds. Deploy a build to the real thing, 2.8 seconds. And why they found me the second time, because it was a success for their first attempt from product wide, but it's a death match. They don't want to do it anymore. So they try to ask for help. So I will share you with the story or the journey in their 3-year journey. They are building this thing, not only the software. This is called C-arm machine. This is their lab. So there are multiple computers, some X-ray, the radiation exposure. So and also this letter from their big boss after their second attempt. Their big boss in Salt Lake City, and this is a wonderful success for them. And actually, after this, they are sharing what they learn and their good practices and experience with teams in Salt Lake City, in India, in China. This team in China. So they are doing a lot of sharing and learn what they did. And actually, they start Agile journey in 2013. At that time, I was a trainer, provided internal training for their company. I'm working with them since 2010. And so they sent 2 people to my CSM course, and they heard of this new word, and I think it's very good for them. When they came back, they start trying Scrum. Even it's not pure Scrum yet, they are trying to do something and experiment. And suddenly they heard a lot of word, and they adopt a lot of at that time called fancy word Agile adoption. So a lot of fancy word in this company. You also see this word. And there's one thing they learned from my course, the first course, and the team should be small. And one key thing, and they think the original team before the attempt was too big. They try to split the, the different color, that's their different skill sets. So they try to split into smaller team, but still smaller component team. And so different color are already the color code. So you see where these components are, yeah, roughly. So they tried, but there's a challenge. The challenge, imagine how can you, for the purple one, how to write a user story for this team. This thing, who should be the user of this thing? The doctor, right? And the first team should be, the story should be, have more light or X-ray. But do doctor care about X-ray? Don't care, right? But at that time, they have to have kind of multiple product owner or multiple product backlog because their team is component based. And there are a lot of dependencies. Without light, how can you take exposure? Without the X-ray, how can you convert that to image? So there are dependencies across teams, and they have to hand off a lot of works. And everything needs to be ready to have the integration. Here is so far it's only software team. I'm not talking about mechanical engineer and electronic engineer. We'll talk about this later. So and Agile, they have a big boss, and it's very command control, which means in the meeting, no one dare to speak because only the boss blah blah. So and everything assigned work, and a lot of bugs, certainly because the integration is very late. So that's a problem. So after that much, yeah, actually, their boss, Mr. Gao, the surname of their boss is Gao, G-A-O, and Mr. Gao was in hospital for a few weeks. So he don't want to, experience this anymore. So he tried to see what's anything wrong. And I think because at the beginning they sent to my course, and maybe they need to involve me to fix the problem. So they talk to me and they say, anything wrong, or is there anything we can do, or not good enough? That's we have the second attempt, which is in start from January 2015. So I'm going to cover the second attempt. So the first we think about how to form the they have the component team. And first, we need to think about how to form the real feature teams, and how to let the team to manage themselves, and what are the real user story for X-ray. So I think about it's not fancy yet, but very basic Scrum or Agile practices. But they need to do it really well and implement or understand these practices before they going further. So the first at the lift off, we want to focus on the very basic first. And actually we share with them. So it started in January 2015, and in 2014 December we were invited to their site to see what's going on, because as a doctor, as a coach, you need to interview or take a look at their team, what's going on, and to see what can you do for them. So we've been there in December 2014 and spent 1 week there talking to their different roles and their artifact documents. So we found some problem. The problem I listed in this slide. So this is a problem we identified and we need to fix in the change at the beginning maybe. So, but there's something I noticed because I've been working with organizations for many organizations. Now, some teams start their agile journey from processes. Processes with mean Scrum or XP or kind of 360-degree review. These kind of practices. But in my experience, if you start from this process and tools, mostly you will hit a wall of structure, because you still belong to one department and report to some echo. Report to some boss, but the boss is not your product. No, you're not your product owner, maybe. So there may be problem, and they actually also relate to your performance review. Your performance reviewed by your functional manager. He doesn't care much about your business goal. So these are the structure issue. So, and luckily, you know, Mr. Gao is a big boss of the product. So our proposal is, you know, but it's still, they start planning the second version. And they make a commitment. They need to release this product in November 2015. Their release means release to FDA, you know, FDA, Federal Drug and Food Administration, because this thing need to be reviewed by those departments of government. So they need to review and they need to release. They have to release. They already and they need to commit. But I say, you know, with this way, you will experience similar that much. And my proposal is also inside there is a culture. It's about culture change, how to collaborate, you know, how to encourage cross-learning. So my proposal is there are two choices. One is start from process, but so just add some automation or continuous integration, maybe some kind of collaboration. But I think our proposal is to really change from structure, because this way they can have. But you know, in that case, Mr. Gao already made a commitment for the boss to release to FDA November, and they have to release, and they have to, you know, have the change to Agile. So it's a big risky for him. So I told Mr. Gao, so I told him, I give you 3 days. And here is a bottleneck and the dependencies. Here I noticed the component team is not working well. It's very hard to adopt Agile, really good practices. So, but you have a challenge. So I give you 3 days. Please talk to your boss in Salt Lake City. Talk to your key team members in Beijing, talk to your stakeholders, and see whether you want to change from inside or do something only on the surface level. Because basically it's also a kind of test for his commitment for the change. So after 3 days, he gave me a call and said, let's do it a crazy way. So he took the risk, and certainly he informed all the stakeholders. So actually, you know, this very, you know, very good timing to talking about this, because, you know, this Monday we have the holiday coming of 8 days. So we have the ceremony. So actually here we call the kind of workshop. It's a half-day workshop to form teams. But you know, Mr. Gao is very command control. But this time we want to delegate the responsibility to design the end-to-end team on their own. And the picture, the photo is the agenda of their workshop. I'll go to detail later, some detail, because there are too much content. So maybe I'll skip some. And if you are interested, you can come to me later. I'll be here till next day, tomorrow. So another is, you know, we want to send out some signal of change. You know, before the Scrum Master was assigned, and also the team member was assigned by the big boss and the Scrum Master. Suddenly, the previous Scrum Master was a key team member. So it is the wrong signal, because, you know, for it's a, you know, servant leader. Scrum Master should be the first servant, but how can the servant choose the boss? So we want to convert or reverse this, and so is that we should do a kind of Scrum Master election. So the half day. We have at that time there are around 40 people, and there are 9 of them. They said because they need to, all candidates, they need to prepare 2 minutes speech for how to be a good Scrum Master, how to serve the team. And actually, there's one guy who speaks one minute English, 1 minute Chinese. So gives a talk. Here is another Scrum Master, and in the end, the team will choose who should be their Scrum Master. And next, but before choosing their Scrum Master, next should be deciding which team they should be in. They should form. First, they need to form the teams. And what we do is we ask the team to decide what criteria you should consider and what skill you should have to contribute or commit to your product, because they are building this thing. For example, the team size. The team size we ask about Ms. Gao, because Ms. Gao has, we don't know X-ray machine, so we ask Ms. Gao, how can a team do end-to-end functionality? How many team members should cover all the necessary skills? He said 6 to 8 should be enough. Also, we talk about what experience experience skill they need, and the gender. This is a team member proposed the kind of, what they need. Another interesting part is live in suburb. What this means is, their office, their lab is in suburb. So this means each team, they have some team member, they can do the ad hoc support because Beijing is too big. So they have a lot of criteria. And then we ask everyone to write on sticky note, write what skills you can contribute to your team. For example, I'm a C++ expert. I'm an image quality expert. And then everyone at least write 3 or to 20, and they stick on their body or some part of body. And so here are the dot vote of the criteria, because there are too many criteria, so we should choose which are important. We identify 20. So we have 20 minutes, and after a room, there are 4 corners. And for each corner, there is a white paper. So they need to, with their skills, with their criteria, they need to find a corner. 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, and they will group on the corner and at the corner and talk about, the composition of the team. And we do a review. That's sprint review of the team composition design. And this is the review of the second. The review, what is the review? And the team is one team in the one corner, and they report to other teams, or what our team have this kind of team members. There are several team members. Other team members, even other people, they grab, red sticky notes. And everyone write, other people write on, what do they write on red sticky notes? Thank you. Bug. What kind of bug? For example, in this team, there's no goal. Or the C++ skill is not good enough. These are the bugs. And then they report bugs. You see a lot of bugs on the top. And then they spend another 20 minutes fix the bug. Then we have the team. And after this, each team, they need to talk about their team agreement, alignment. I was good faster. And next, we form the form feature team, but we still need to pay attention to the skills, C++, image, quality, for example, mechanical engineer, for example. So we talk about what are the necessary skill we need or component we have. And we form virtual teams. There are a lot of virtual teams. And so they talk about agreement, what the ceremonies of what the practices they need to standard for each component. And each component, each virtual team, they have a champion, a lead. who own this area. So there are some examples of. And after this, after the ceremony, we formed the feature team. And interestingly, before there was 6 product owner, 1 big product owner and multiple component product owner and multiple product backlog. And after this, we only have 1 product owner and 2 Scrum Master. And you can take on the bottom, there is 1 example story, user story. This is a real user story. I think a doctor can understand what it means. And the team can really focus on business. And each team can do end-to-end functionality. And there's no much bottleneck now. And we only have 1 single product owner who focus on the functionality of the X-ray only. And we got a chance to involve stakeholders, the real doctors. Here is a meeting of what because there are multiple teams. So here is the agenda. They have 2-week sprint. So here is the agenda of how their 2 weeks look like. And there are 2 different colors. Blue means blue one is a joint meeting. Joint meeting, I'll show you a video later, means all the teams in 1 room. They have the meetings focused on joint refinement or sprint planning. And green one is the standalone. Each team have their own meeting. So they have, this is the meetings. I'll show you some. So they have the daily scrum of Scrum. So at the beginning, in the morning, first they have a team's daily Scrum. And after this 15 minutes, and they send an ambassador. Sometimes they choose the one who speak least in the meeting room or in the daily Scrum. Or sometimes they just throw a dice to decide who should go. I was kidding, but each team have their own way to choosing who should represent their team in the daily SOS, Scrum of Scrum. So they have the joint retrospective, but this all mostly lasts after the team retrospective because some are organization level issue or cross team dependencies. So they need to talk about this. So this is a joint retrospective. Now we have formed a real team, and they need to design or create a story together, and they need to commit and set up tasks or stories. And also we do mob programming and pair programming. Mob programming means all team. Each week they spend 2 hours or 4 hours choosing 2 afternoon or 1 afternoon. All team working on 1 story to encourage cross-learning. So after liftoff, we have the feature team. And we have the set up the basics for the Scrum. And also we have the proper ceremony, facilitate meetings. We have the roles, the new roles, and we help them prepare or define the artifacts. So this is what the first quarter from to April, from January to March, April. This is the first quarter. And next challenge is cross-team challenges and cross-role, because before, the liftoff is only software. And now, at the beginning, after the mechanical engineer, they said, we only give you 2 builds. It should be enough. We don't need to change it or almost done. So, but in the end, they found 60% of their design had to be changed. So the second quarter, we focus on how to involve a mechanical engineer, electronic engineer, and image quality expert, and the real, not stakeholder. They are also part of product. They're also product designer, so developer. but the challenge is we focus on how to resolve these issues because there are so many issues need to be resolved in the joint retrospective. So first we focus on one stream development. This before every team has their own branch and multiple branch. It's a nightmare to merge. And we help them to merge into one stream, one branch development. A lot of work. Another is, before it's an X-ray machine, they need to create, I'm not sure, in Japan we found this, the CD, the CD thing, here I found, it's hard to find from, I cannot find it in Hong Kong now. And the X-ray machine, they need to burn this to deploy. They need to burn this and then bring to the lab, and they need to wear this kind of thing and wear special shoes, and then they need to install on the machine. And it took 20 hours. And it takes too long, so no one want to change, no one want to merge. And so another bottleneck, you need to help them, shorten the build process or duration. But that's not part of coaching, because as a coach at the time, our team, there are five coaches, and we need to really get into their work to help them to, certainly you can do some reflection, but if they're in their knowledge or experience, maybe they can only reduce from 20 hours to 15 hours. Can they imagine from 20 hours to 2.8 seconds? That's beyond their imagination. So our team involved into this and reduced to 2.8 seconds. Also refactor their Jenkins build and make a lot of automation. Wrote a lot of script. And also now we start really involved the EE, ME engineers in their sprint, because we request a lot of change to them, and since they didn't support before, so here is their build administrators and pair with my previous coworker. So they are the two guy and the lady to shorten the build from 20 hours to 2.8 seconds. So write a lot of script and to automate all the process. The graph look like this, and also after this, it took us 20 coaching days to finish this. And after this, this diagram of everyone makes the change, and their SCM Jenkins will monitor the change and deploy to X-ray, bypass the CD burning process. So this encouraging SIGAP signal, I encourage everyone to commit more often, to integrate more often, and to also it got chance to do small stories incrementally. Also, we have the joint refinement meeting. And before I talk about, we involve stakeholders, and here in refinement meeting we have stakeholders. You see this guy I'll show you. These are the photo of the joint meeting. This is the sprint planning. Here is a video. So this guy actually is the leftmost guy is an expert. He's a mechanical engineer, and the team is asking detailed requirement of, actually their requirement is not from their product owner. The team talk to stakeholder directly, and their product owner, I call it police officer, also PO, right? My definition of PO is product owner. PO is a police officer. Police officer is the one who say yes and no. And also PO is a problem owner. Understand what customer problem is and what doctor's problem. So PO is a problem on a penal police officer. So even though they talk to stakeholder directly, they still need to convince police officer to say, oh, this is important, this should be in the build in next. So I'll share some videos. So here is their joint meeting. So here in the window is their PO. So it's a parallel meeting. And this guy is Mr. Gao, their big boss. And this is their PO. This is the image expert. So after this, and now they involve the EE and ME expert or team member designer in their team, and they move their workspace to the lab. And they invite stakeholders to do the review, because now they can do build very often. So they involve the real domain expert or stakeholder in their review. I'll show you detail later. And they use exploring testing in their review to elicit more feedback. Because they have multiple doctors or stakeholders, and everyone focuses on different area. For example, this doctor focuses on imaging quality, and this stakeholder is on starting machine or shut down machine. And this guy, a legal guy, or because they need to think, there is a one test case, it cannot, there is accumulated duration for taking shot because it's for operation. In Brazil, there is a law, you cannot have, more than 10 seconds. If more than 10 seconds, you need to shut down the machine because the patient will die. So different stakeholders, different kind of focus areas. And so we facilitate the session. At the beginning, we do a kind of introduction or test to validate each feature. And then we have the parallel session. Parallel session is 30 minutes. So every stakeholder go to different machine. They are rich, each of these is 1 million Chinese RMB, 1 million. So each machine have they call the bay. Different bay have different focus, and they do explore testing, and we provide them a sheet, forms, and they need to form, and each team member, and I encourage the team member, when the doctor go to the bay, and the team member and the tester should shut up. Why? Because they are the expert, they should know what to do. And every other team member using their cell phone to take photo or video and to see what doctor is doing. And then they fill the forms. They review the video and they fill what the doctor did. Anything make doctor puzzle. Anything we didn't know before. And so every time, every sprint, they will have more stories. But that's the nature of software development, right? So this is reviews. So after this, the second phase, we adopt a 10-minute build. This kind of focus on the impediment or technical impediment, and also working on the involve more stakeholders. The third quarter, we focus on the individual practices. Really, I'll just show you the mobile programming part, pair programming. So our developer, sometimes I pair with them, do the testing, do the coding, or write automation, this kind of work. So focus a lot on refactoring. So help them do a lot of this. So, and we are very useful to adopt the spec by example. Personally, I like it very much. So also a collaboration tool also is very useful for us to communicate and to validate what's going on. So we adopt a lot of practices on individual level or technical, the third quarter. So Scrum, first Scrum and team, basically. And second phase of working on organization level or the dependencies across roles, and also the build part. Engineering third quarter. And the fourth quarter, because they are going to release to FDA, you know, it's very risky to release a bug, you know, if there's one death, their factory will be shut down. It's very risky for them. So they care about quality very much. And actually before that, they adopt exploratory testing, their exploratory testing already. But I got one chance. So actually in June later. So I got one chance because I think now they need to focus on quality. Now the feature is mostly ready, and we need to focus on quality, improve the quality, and test what's anything wrong, fix the broken. But they don't have good practice or tools to help them identify what's going on and how to do root cause analysis. So I found one opportunity is when they need to do a regression test. They spend 2 weeks on 30+ people, spend 2 weeks, and they only found 2 bugs. So I talked to Mr. Gao. I proposed. I said, Mr. Gao, maybe I can introduce use some facilitate a workshop, and it's only 40 minutes. I only need 16 people, and I want to help you find some bugs. You know why I say 40 minutes? Because the investment is so little, it's nothing, and not many team members. It's a good try anyway. It's a Friday afternoon, so Mr. Gao said, okay, so we will have 16 volunteers. They are interested to learn something or try something. So we form pairs, and I'm not an X-ray expert, but I introduced them how to test. So they form pairs. I will use tours, test tours. I introduced the concept of test tours. So they pair up. I will have 4 tours, 4 different kind of tours, and they have 16 people form to 8 pairs. 8 pairs, each 2 pairs sign up 1 tour. And then a tour is a focus of the functionality area. For example, focus on user interface, looking, or the navigation. So after 40 minutes, and they found 11 issues. Not bug yet, because they need to evaluate. Suddenly they found 11 issues. You know, I live in Hong Kong at that time, and I need to rush to airport. On my way to airport, and Mr. Gao called me, Daniel. You know, before we coach 30 days a quarter. Next quarter, can we have 30 more days? 60 days, because they found something seems they didn't know. Their curiosity. So these are the results. There's a test report after the session. So I involved more exploratory testing expert in our coaching team, and we do the test case design, involve every team member. Instead by, you know, previously the kind of test architect, these kind of people, they write everything and very detailed. So after the journey, we focus on the quality. That's the fourth quarter. Let me show you some result or outcome. Here is you can see the left part is a schedule. And you know, there in March, you know, there is a big drop here. There is why there is a big drop? Because at that time they have a new CEO, and they said, you know, we adopt their agile already, so we need to ship early or ship sooner. So their duration or their scope need to be reduced 30%. So basically, the team adjusted this because actually we to solve the problem, we introduced impact mapping, kind of product management tool, impact mapping to them to help them adopt the change, and pretty much after this, you see their work pretty much predictable, and they finished 1 week early. Actually, this is a huge surprise for every modality. You know, there are different products called modality, X-ray and actually what else? Forgot. Anyway, so there are a lot of healthcare machines. Different, they call them modality. So the boss of different is a surprise to them because usually it's a half-year delay or many months delay. And the quality will focus on the work on fixed work and versus new work, which means, you know, before they had more than 1,300 bugs. They did 16 rounds of tests. Every regression, they have more bugs. So they spend a lot of work of time to fixing the bugs. That's called the fixed work. And the new work means new development. And for the new release, this is their metrics. And the green one is the bugs fixed. The red one is a bug and new identified. You see, it's pretty much on track. And in the end, their fixed work, the new fixed work versus new work is 40%, from 150 to 40%. It's a huge surprise for everyone. And actually, you see, you know, they released to their team, to a validation team before FDA, and they found 5 bugs only. And in the 5 bugs, there's no software bug. It's compliance bug, requirement of process. So it's a surprise for everyone. And Ms. Gao was challenged, you know, what happened? So there was a meeting, a kind of a big boss meeting, a hearing to see what's going on. And after the meeting, Ms. Gao was promoted. His boss was promoted to and next step, we invite the real doctor in their room to see their comment. Sorry, it's in Chinese. See the feedback test. And the next step, we focus on the team. We left the team and adopt a growing object-oriented software guided by tests. We help the team. This is their new direction. And Mr. Gao was promoted. So we have a new track, new problem to fix. It's another model of X-ray machine. So my reflection, I think it's very important for them to have a kind of failed attempt, because without that, they cannot compare, and it's part of the learning journey. And they are willing to change and challenge. Mr. Gao took the risk, change from inside. You know, not many bosses, they have a commitment, pressure, but they still need. So everyone under this pressure. Also, we do it incrementally and iteratively. So every quarter we have I share with you the 4 phases, the different purpose. But in the quarter, we have a bi-weekly meeting and a monthly meeting to adjust our new opportunity. I'll also show some English. So new opportunity and what issue found and what status, anything changed. For example, we found out new ET tools, exploratory testing tools to adopt. Maybe we should consider find another expert to help team with. And actually, it's not just the start from, you know, we are really 5 coaches really in the team, pair working, a lot of facilitation, and working together with them to fix the build and to shorten the build to 2.8 seconds. So it takes a lot of effort. And the tools, the practice is driven by their problem. The boss said 30% need to be reduced. What can we do? And then we introduce another tool. So here are some reflections of my of their journey. And there are some coupon code. You can use that to buy railway tickets. That's my product. Any questions?
Can I use this coupon code in Japan? I cannot use it.
This app is for you to overseas travel. Certainly, for China people and British people, I encourage them to use this to book Japan.
Yeah.
I'm solving problem for overseas travel. You go to Germany, you go to US, you go to UK. You don't know how to take public transportation, train, bus. That's mine. And using your own language. Nihongo. I have 28 languages. So. Any questions?
質問はありますか? Do you have any question? Oh, okay, just a moment, please.
Thanks very much, Daniel. It was a very inspiring talk. You mentioned that there were also mechanical and electrical engineers, well, clearly involved in the creation of the product. Were they also part of the teams? And if so, how did you deal with the typically longer lead times for mechanical engineering and electrical engineering? It's like a different cycle.
At the beginning, it's very hard. But I'm not a real expert of that. But according to their software developer, they told me, and the electrical engineer, they once they found this kind of they need to integrate more often. They try to create some tool or mocks or simulators to make it integration a little bit shorter or smoother.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
So,
what happened? I don't know detail, but
more simulation. So
more
simulation, less in product.
Okay. Yeah. But they driven by at the beginning they said 2 weeks is not possible, but
okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Here is gift for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So before questioning, we have entered the tea time right now, and the next session will be started at 15:50.
Yeah.
3:15. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Maybe last question.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
After this hour,
Yeah.
We can talk. If you are interested, you can come in this venue. So
yeah. So please go ahead with your question.
Okay. Thank you for the interesting talk.
Thank you.
The current form, your team is so great, but I wonder what was the most difficult part in introducing such agile way into this team as a coach, and how to solve this?
I think the real challenge is to filter out who does care, who really want to change. If Mr. Gao said, I want to do safe way, maybe I will not going to work with him.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. ありがとうございます。